Welcome to GenX Childhood of Irony Part 8. Today we're going to talk about what I consider the ultimate childhood of irony experience. The ABC After School special titled Stoned, starring Scott Baio. Written and directed by John Hirschfeld in 1980, who was only 33 years old at the time. Our story opens with Mike and his older brother. Their mother is gone, no explanation, and their toxically masculine father is obsessed with the athletic older brother who is going off to college. Mike, according to the 80s uniform standards, is a nerd with his shirt tucked in and glasses. And 80s uniform standards has no inability to speak to girls and zero personality. After struggling to communicate with Felicity, the new girl, Mike finds himself wondering what he can do to pull the stick out of his butt and learn how to have fun. He becomes prey to the guys in school who smoke the devil's lettuce. And suddenly, Mike becomes everything everybody wants to be in the 80s. He has a personality, he's fun, he thinks that everything tastes good, everything looks good. He truly becomes what he's always wanted to be. People who use this drug are portrayed as silly, the stoner laugh, this guy is worth watching the show for. And since there was no odor for this substance back then, nobody notices. They just notice that his personality is different, including his teacher, who happens to be the writer and director, John Hirschfeld, making his acting debut. He gives all of his students an impassioned speech about how this wacky lettuce can cause birth defects and brain damage and all kinds of serious side effects that will ruin their lives. But Mike does not listen, and he goes boating with his brother, who has a match in the sport we don't know about. And he's under the influence and hits his brother in the nose with an oar, causing him to have a bloody nose and pass out. When his brother comes to in the hospital, because you could afford to go to the hospital for bloody noses in the 80s because healthcare costs weren't that high, his career is over. And toxic masculine dad shows up and wants to know what has happened. Older brother says, "My younger brother saved my life even though he knows he was stoned. And now toxically masculine dad loves him again." This causes our star to completely rethink what he's doing and give it up for good. He's ruined his brother's life because of this. That broken nose was everything. Now that he's sober, perpetually uptight, Felicity gets back together with him, and they move forward into the future to become PTA members and have millennial children. Statistically, children were more likely to use substances after watching this film.